Hello, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Lily Villazan. I'm the owner of Magnolia Beauty Academy. So we are trying to do something a little different. When we have visitors come in, we want to kind of give them a little interview. I have the same questions that my students have for them. We're going to use it for each person. First, I want to introduce you all to Nathan.
Hi.
He is with the Paint Bar in Overland Park. These are questions from the students here at Magnolia Beauty Academy. What gave you the confidence to start your business?
Wow. So my wife and I are both full-time employees at other businesses, and we were both feeling that in our current roles, we're just kind of entry-level kind of positions, which is great. You do that long enough, and you start feeling like, I feel like we can give back more. I feel like we can do more. We started looking for a franchise. What we really like about franchise is it's a proven method. We don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel with a franchise. We can take their methodologies and we can implement them and execute on it. So that's what really attracted us to the franchise model. However, now it was to find a franchise that we aligned with. And so we did an exhaustive search, and we came across the Paint Nail Bar, and we immediately fell in love with the ethos of taking care of the clients and having something unique. Our value proposition is very unique to the metro. There's not a lot of non-toxic nail salons in general, much less in the Kansas City metro. So we knew that that was a winning proposition that if we took a hold of, that I think we could execute on.
Good. Did you always know you wanted to be a business owner? Is that something you always knew?
No, absolutely not. My wife and I are very driven people in our current businesses and our current companies. However, we are busy. We've got 2 children, and they're involved in sports and activities. So did I always know I'm going to be a business owner? No, but I think it became more apparent after we tried to find a franchise. Like, we knew we wanted to grow in certain ways and become more flexible, and sometimes you have to roll the dice and go all in. And I'm sure you know more than most, you pray that it's going to be successful, but you also recognize that it's going to take time and lots of effort if you're willing to sacrifice.
Yep, I totally agree. It's constantly changing hats when you're an entrepreneur. Here's another question. What was your first steps in starting your business?
Well, first steps is creating an LLC. Actually, coming up with a business plan is probably your very first step. You want to recognize, you want to put everything down on paper as to what you want, who you want to run the business, how you want to run it, how you want to execute, and do your purpose. The nice thing about having a franchise is, again, they did all that for us, so we had to put our business plan around the execution side of things. How do we implement this in Kansas City? And how do we grow the current business that's existing to be better? For us, it was lining the salon to franchise standards. And in the beginning, that was really tough because the original location was kind of being run as an independent business and not necessarily franchise focused. And that's only because it was one of the original locations, and they kind of didn't enforce their rules of will on this owner. So when we came in, there was a few things that had to change, and in changing those things, we had to basically rebuild our team, and we're in the middle of doing that right now, and we're excited to grow.
Yeah. So the nail bar is the only one location in the Kansas side. There is none on the Missouri side. So if franchise is something you want to do, you have a mentor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have someone whose brain you can pick. But
yeah, we'd be happy to coach anyone that's interested in doing that. Don't get me wrong though. You have to leverage a lot in your life in order to get the money to do that. Now, maybe you were gifted some of that money. That's great. But at the end of the day, don't let that scare you, because you could be very successful, and you're going to have to take risk in life regardless if it's to that degree or not. So.
Now, and also when it comes with money, one of the things that I tried to show you guys and teach you is entrepreneurship, pitch competitions. Pitch competitions, you can win as little as 2,000 as much as 20,000. And there have them all over town. Missouri side, Kansas side, there's so many agencies that do them. You could just search pitch competitions. That give you some money to start off with. Another thing, Network Kansas, there's a lot of CDFIs around that help small businesses with money, fundraising and startup costs. Being a minority woman or whatever, they do have Network Kansas. They have a matching thing. If you get a loan from a bank, say $50,000, Network Kansas would double that amount for you. So instead of starting with $50,000, you can actually start with $150,000. I've done those things. I can help you with that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that's how much I got, but those are the processes. Those are ways to get it. So you don't think you can't do it because it costs money. There's ways you can get the money. Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Any tips for starting a successful business? Financial tracking, products, etc.
So obviously we're kind of locked in on the products we use because of the franchise, but as far as creating your business and running with it, I'd recommend you get familiar with QuickBooks. QuickBooks has been really key for our growth. We pay for the Essentials package version, which allows us to get regular one-on-one coaching from Quicken. We also say you want to have a lot of flexibility, right? I mean, things are going to happen and you want to be able to just bend and not break. So if you're starting a business and something happens, it could be anything. Let's say one of your clients who's one of your biggest clients just stops coming or something like that. You have to be able to say, okay, what can I do to rectify the situation? You're going to go out and you're going to try to market yourself. You're going to bring in and you're going to always try new things, new marketing, new opportunities to bring in to develop your business. We currently are spending roughly $3,000 a month in marketing for our salon. We have, but something we just took on, we've never done before, was putting our salon information and a discount on the back of receipts with in-house, right? We've never done that before. They came and pitched it to us. I said, well, that's interesting. And then when I started looking at their portfolio, it's actually a lot of our businesses in our area. And we said, why not? Let's try it. Let's see how it does. 200,000 receipts for $1,000. Okay, let's see it, So you just don't be afraid to go out and market yourself and be your own advocate, because you're the only one who's going to advocate for you. So you just want to be, understand that you're going to live and breathe, you're growing your business.
Yeah.
So.
I have those receipts too. You're going to see me on the receipts at Price Chopper on 78 and also on Sunfresh on 18th Street. Those things really come in handy. You get quite a few people coming in who never even knew that we were here because of those receipts. So that is an inexpensive thing that you can do to promote yourself. The next question is, what was the turning point of your career that made it take off? Would you say you've taken off yet, or are you still getting to that point?
We are, as far as the business goes, absolutely. So the salon is absolutely, we're making money now. We haven't made money in several months. For us as a business, we understand that there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to need to be flexible with change and growth, understanding that you're going to have rough months, but you're going to have good months. It's very much like the stock market. You can't live in this state of highs and lows. You have to have this faith in yourself and the bigger picture that it's all going to work out. So my wife and I, we're both Christians, and so we're able to pray away a lot of the stress, right? That's really important for us. If you are very stressed out with highs, you're like, oh, this is awesome, and then you have a low and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're crying. Running a business is going to be very tough for you. You have to have this steady, constant feeling that everything's going to work out. You just got to keep pivoting and keep getting through the mess, and everything will work out. That's something to keep in mind. It will work out.
That's one thing I can vouch for, is that running a business, you do wear many hats, and you do have to pivot. There's some days it's going to be a hard day, but you still have to show up. You still have to be there to run your business. If you don't show up to open the doors, you're not letting anybody in. So even though the days are hard, and maybe you had a hard lesson or whatever, so you not feeling great, you can't give up. You have to push through it and keep pushing, because that's what running a business is. You can't give up if something doesn't come to you easy. You have to push through, okay?
I would say, to add one more thing to that, is growing. Never stop growing. Never stop educating yourself. Always be humble. Don't let your ego take over. Like, oh, well, I know all that stuff. By saying that, you're saying that your way, you know above everything else, and almost 100% of the time that's never accurate, right? There's always better ways to do things, and you want to be flexible and you want to be growing all the time. So I'd be reading a lot. I read a lot of books, a lot of self-help books, but then I also I have a couple mentors that also own businesses, and they're just kind of coaching us on how to approach certain situations. It's great to have somebody that you can lean on that has been down that road.
One of the things I always say is get your mentor. Score.org, they give free mentors. You just have to go on and sign up for one, and they will coach you throughout the whole process. Those mentors are people who are retired and had businesses, so they know what you're facing. But having someone to talk to is important. Having someone that you can ask questions to. So as we growing and as we're changing our mindset to we're a business mindset person, you find yourself changing the people that you're around. Have you find that your friends are not the ones who's going to always be there? You're growing as a person, you're growing as the people that you're around, and now your circle of people are now going to be a circle of business owners. I can tell you when I realized that my circle has completely changed is I just won for the second time Small Business Entrepreneur of the Year. Second time winning. On my Facebook feed, it's full of people who got announced as a small business superstar. And as you see in your circle before, it was nobody. But now in my circle, everybody's getting a superstar. So that's really, it really is exciting. But it's just show that it's a growth in yourself, that you're growing yourself, you're networking with like-minded people, because networking is very important. It's all about who you know sometimes, about who you know or who experienced something like, oh, I experienced that, we had a problem, this is who we tried, and they sharing that information over. So thank you, Nathan, for coming today. I wanted to have the girls answer the questions that they wanted, because they come, but they don't ask the questions, so I'm going to ask the questions for them.
Well, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you again for coming. And you already got 2 of my students. I have some more you can have.
That sounds great.
All right, thank you guys. Bye-bye.